massive important news. Stevie Ray, Stevie, no wonder I was number one, not number two, not number three, not number four, number one. I was number one representative for the gambling community. Boys are back. Boys are back in town. We welcome you to a new episode of TWI. I'm your host, Dyke. We got an unreal crew. As always, we got Big Bet Barter, our new number one. Actually, he's been our new number one for 3 weeks now. Then we got Jared above him, Eric P above him, and then David Big D3 Youngs on the top. We are missing Mateo. Our feature match of the week is Dominic Thiem versus Tommy Paul. Unreal feature match of the week. But first, I want to get into some drama that's been going on in the WTA. Simona Halep got caught doping. Carter, I know you're a massive Simona Halep fan. What's your reaction to Simona Halep getting caught doping?
You know, I was a huge Simona Halep fan a few years ago before she had her tragic surgery. But, you know, she's keeping things interesting. I don't know. What's your guys' take? Do you think she actually did it? Do you think her sob story about being on the wrong side of this is true? Like, I want to open up the floor.
It was interesting that she was so adamant that she did not knowingly take anything. That statement that's up on the screen right now, right? That she claims that this was not in her control, and I just feel like the impression I've got from following Simona Halep over the years is I kind of want to believe her, I think.
I do too. Like, I don't know. Like, explain to me, any of you guys read into this a lot? Like, what kind of advantage does it give her? What does it do to her body?
So, roxadustat is the here, I'm going to pull up the ESPN article right now. So, according to the EU's Medicines Agency, which approved roxadustat last year, it stimulates the body to produce more of a natural hormone, erythropoietin, or EPO, which has long been a doping product favored by cyclists and distance runners. So I'm assuming it kind of helps with endurance. Your blood flow.
Helps recover faster, I'm sure.
Yeah, not a drug guy. But it is unique, when you think of the WTA tour of players who have been a staple, or, and I'm not saying necessarily results-wise, but names that people know for a long period of time. Halep has been that the last decade. And it has really, in my opinion, at least, been a good ambassador of the game. I'm along with Jared here that I want to believe her. We see this in the MLB sometimes where a player will come out and say, I did not know I was taking this. Obviously, some of those are true, some are not. But I think tennis players are generally better people than baseball players because, it's a game of integrity. So right. I'm Team Simona. Shitty situation. But yeah, say no to drugs, yes to tacos.
You have to be consuming something, right? So you're putting it into your body. You have to have some knowledge of what you're eating. You know what I mean? You don't just get something and just start eating it. You know what I mean? You have to
I'm going to push you on that. A lot of these high level athletes, they see a lot of doctors, whether it's for acupuncture, whether it's for PT, whatever it may be. Oftentimes when these situations come up, it is one of those people that is administering it. I know if I put myself in those shoes, it's all right. Doc says this, I'm gonna take this because doctor says it's fine. Mm-hmm. When in all reality, and I'm not trying to knock the European medical system, but in all reality, you never know. Even if it is a product that is going to help her with whatever condition or whatever she wants, the doctor doesn't necessarily maybe know that that's a banned substance.
You're saying this professional women's athlete who's a top 10 player in the world, even if she's getting some drug from a doctor, doesn't do a little bit of research and seeing what that drug is doing. Right? Anything going in your body, I understand that you might not know what's going in your body, but what, are you just having your coach grind up protein shakes and you're just drinking them? What's going on?
Well, I'll say this, Isaac. I'll say this.
The doctor knows Simona Halep. They
yes.
know that she's a top 10 tennis player in the world. They know what drugs she can.
You would hope and you would think, and this is absolutely if this is the situation that went down, it's on the doctor. And I'm not a professional tennis player, but I'll say this: COVID vaccine. I didn't know what was in it, but I took it because society says it's good for you. This helps.
The vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
And obviously it was good. It's a very good thing. You know, you would hope that, you know, in her role, obviously this is a big thing, you know, knowing what goes into your body, because drug testing is something that happens frequently at this level, that she would look into it. But I don't know if that's the reality or not. I genuinely don't.
It's tough to say. I know her coach, Patrick Mortiglu, who has been her coach for the last year. Previous, he was Serena's coach, Serena Williams. I didn't see any reaction or anything from him. I didn't really seek it out either, but like nothing popped up on my feed. So obviously he wasn't that outspoken where I was getting like a lot of views or clicks, which it probably would have. So I'm curious what he has to think about this whole thing. Right now he's coaching Holger Rune, who just won his first ATP, I think 500 title, which is crazy. Or maybe it was a 250 title. But
right?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, he's a crazy coach. I think I saw some tweets about that. People were like anticipating him like coming out with a comment, but it just like never came.
Yeah, maybe he's getting blamed. You know what I mean? Maybe, I mean, this is under his reign a little bit. Like if you're a coach, you're kind of overseeing kind of what's going on. Obviously, he's probably a little bit bigger picture than, you know, a day-to-day coach, I think. But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
There's my theory.
Simona Halep say no to drugs and no to jugs too.
Eric, if you were the unit of tennis integrity, the UTI, what would you do in this situation? I know we've talked about this before.
You know, the UTI is a upstanding institution full of just general business logical procedures. And if I know one thing about them, I know that they practice really good business hygiene. Whenever an event occurs that requires them to clean up their act a little bit, I have no doubt that they investigated this before they dropped the hammer on Simona. And if it comes out that, you know, maybe this was an inadvertent positive, I'll be pretty pissed.
Language, Timothy.
I think, Eric, the UTI is being a little bit irritating in this case. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, mildly irritating, I guess.
I'll give you a few
Nothing you'd have to seek medical attention for.
Okay, thank you.
But you are right, Eric. The UTI will go and investigate this case. They have done in the past. So I've done a little bit more diving in. Hey, what players have done this? What players have been affected by, you know, a doping scandal or, you know, a doping problem? So obviously highlighted Maria Sharapova. She admitted to it, got banned for, I believe it was 2 years. One person that I did not know that we actually bet on, Beatrice Haddad Maya. She got a 10-month ban. I think there was some sort of negotiation or some sort of like she didn't know either. I don't know exactly what happened, but I know she did. And then there was one other player. She got off like scotch-free. So there is a chance that Simona Halep goes through this process and they're like, okay, like she did not know. I wonder if you hook her up to a lie detector test. Like that would probably show it, right?
Are those things actually reliable though? I question that. Here's my theory. I think Halep was looking for some hitting partners that would challenge her, legends potentially, and you know she got hooked up with Maria Sharapova and was like, damn, she's really kicking my ass, and saw what she was drinking on the sidelines and it said Michael Jordan's secret stuff, and she's like, I'll have what she's having. Throws it down the hatch, gets a call from the UTI 6 months down the line, and boom, here we are today.
Well, typically the UTI calls a little bit sooner than that.
Glad to see we're a bunch of independent thinkers.
Carter, you're saying the UTI spread from Sharapova to Halep?
Indeed.
I think
it's airborne, brothers.
Well, Carter, I think you bring up some great points, but my theory is that this comes from Richard Gasquet. Different substance. But I kissed a girl and I liked it, the taste of her cocaine chapstick.
Cocaine.
Oh, God.
Do you guys remember that Olympic athlete? I don't know if she was a runner or what, but she tested positive for something right before the Olympics.
Yeah, what was her name? Jones?
No.
Something like that. And she said, like, I had too much pork from this food truck. And it was tainted with whatever this substance was.
Damn carnitas.
Are you talking about Sha'Carri Richards? Because that was weed.
No, not Sha'Carri. No, this was not a sprinter. This was a distance athlete.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't remember her name, but it kind of reminds me of that.
important league news. The levy has been confirmed dry. It's been a question all year. Will the levy be dry at the end of the year? Well, it is week 33, and it has been confirmed dry. Etsy Man, Jim, everything diecast. He has about 800 miles on the market right now. He was kind enough to sell me this 1969 Chevy Chevelle. So the winner will be getting the Chevelle. Right now, in league rankings, we have Carter in first, Jared in second, Eric in third, David in fourth, myself in fifth, and then Matt in sixth. I think Matt has no chance, and I would argue myself has very little chance unless I just get absolutely lucky. I think it's kind of in between Carter, Jared, Eric, and David. I think you guys are all within enough of a margin right now that you guys can come back, but it's going to be interesting. What are your thoughts on this, Carter, that this is within reach, 4 weeks away?
First of all, David was cheesing when he said that because he's reminiscing on the times where he was like deep in hell. Like, what were you at, negative 200? And
I was man. I was worse than the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, man. It was brutal.
That's just a hearty upper Midwestern joke right there. Love it. God damn it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to making some big bets, and I'm just gonna, I got the Tiger Woods mentality. I'm out here to crush the competition. I'm not here to just take that one stroke W.
Jared, what are your thoughts? You had that 8-week lead there for a while. It's kind of slipping away right now, but you got a cool trophy up for grabs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to get back on track. I think I had this and I kind of let it slip away with just a couple of questionable bets. Obviously, Carter flew in out of nowhere with just some massive wins as well. I thought Eric was going to be my primary competition, but we've kind of seen that that's not necessarily the case. I will say, Carter, if you want to talk about winning by a little bit, I will say you do have plenty of experience with one stroke, so that plays into your favor. I'll give you a few inches.
I'm not going to refute that. It gets the job done, baby.
Efficiency.
What do you think, David? Like, so you were probably the worst player. Actually, you were the worst player in league history for about 15 weeks, and then Matt became obviously way worse than you. Unimaginably worse. But what are your thoughts now coming back, being in the positives?
I think it speaks to my talent. They say the best. What is it? The best something with availability. Availability. There's a saying. I was not available the first 15 weeks, and then I skipped like 8 weeks. I've even skipped a little bit recently, and I'm still in the running. I mean, that speaks to just it's a tennis brain right here.
I think we're using the term "in the running" pretty loosely.
Thank you.
Be fair, but
yeah. Hey, talk to me when you can hit a continental serve.
That will never happen.
No, I'm just happy to be here. I'm going to go in with a growth mindset, focus on what I can control. And what I can control is laying down some fucking amazing bets. And that's what I'm going to do.
He's going to be a grower, not a shower. Yeah. I also want to talk about Eric being 19-12 and yet having less than half as much money as Carter, who is one win over 500. I am curious to see if his soft bet strategy will end up biting him in the ass upon the conclusion of our season.
Well, think about this. I don't really see a conclusion of our season. My finish line is in 10 years, pal. Who's gonna be on top in the long season 11 of Tennis with Ike? We look at career records. I want you to bookmark this conversation, and we'll see after that.
Eric is the Garrett Cole of this chat here. Confirmed, bitch.
That's a hateful thing to say. I'd like you to take that back.
Our feature match of the week is Tommy Paul. Tommy has 2 first names, and he is going against Dominic Thiem. Had some wrist surgery last year. Hasn't really been the same since his surgery. So this is a big match, big tournament for him in Vienna, Austria, his home place. So big, lot on the line for Dominic Thiem in this match. We have the Erste Open. It's an ATP 500-point tournament. The prize money for the winner is $430K. We're going to be betting in the first round. The winner of this first round will get 33. So super interesting. We'll see who takes home the cake. Let's get into our betting.
Before we get into the betting for the week, let's go over the rules of betting. The boys will put 10, 20, or 30 bucks on the bet of their choice. All types of bets welcome, and the winner at the end of the year wins the 69 Chevy. No restrictions apply. Let's get into the bets.
I'm going to be a little bit more risky this week because I am in second to last. I need to make some moves. We only have 4 weeks left. I'm going to take Dominic Thiem in 3 at 30 bucks to win 90. So Dominic Thiem wins 2-1, 30 bucks to win 90. I think he plays a lot of 3-set matches in these ATP 250, 500, and 1,000 point tournaments. So I think he's going to battle. I don't think his wrist is fully there quite yet. So I think this is going to 3. Massive important news. Stevie no wonder. I was number 1, not number 2, not number 3, not number 4, number 1. I was number 1 representative for the gambling community. Hey, he replied to a little bit of a tweet of mine. Hey, who's going to win this match? Tommy Paul or Dominic Thiem? Stevie Ray says Dominic Thiem. Influence my bet a little bit. I'm in the hole, boys. I need to dig myself out for the 69 Chevy. I need the 69 Chevy. I want to take home the maiden title, the first title of TWI Season 1. I need this. So I'm going to take Stevie Ray's bet. I'm going to tweak it a little bit to my favor because I'm also a GOAT. So we'll see what happens. Stevie Ray, thanks for the input. I appreciate it. David, Big D3 Youngs, what's your bet for the week?
Yeah, well, I'll say, as Billy Joel once said, slow down. When we realize that Vienna waits for you. Sorry, I had to pull up the lyrics to get it correct. That's a great Billy Joel song. I remember when I first met Tommy Paul. The Cobber tennis team was in Florida at the United States Tennis Association National Campus. Our coach, Joseph Murray, said, "Hey, guys, this is Tommy Paul." I honestly thought that was a porn star. Because that's a great porn star name. In all reality, this guy's really come onto the scene. He's been electric. So I'm going to take Tommy Paul straight sets, take the under on total games. The line's at 22.5. So we're going the under, 30 bucks.
The under's at -112, 30 bucks to win 27 in return. Eric P., what's your bet for the week?
My bet for the week is also going to be under on games, similar to David.
Nice.
Here is what I'm looking at. I actually think Tommy Paul kind of stinks. We'll see if he proves me wrong, but Dominic Thiem also just might not have enough in the tank right now coming back from his injury. So I think it's either going to be close first set, lopsided second set, or 3 quick sets. So I'm going to move the line just a little bit higher.
Got to get an alarm or something for every time Eric moves the line, so we could just do like a big oh, here comes Eric's bet. Everybody get ready.
And God said, "Let there be an alarm." Fuck the devil.
So I'm going to move the line just a little bit higher, up to, we're going to go under 26.5.
All right.
With -220 odds, and we were going to put 20 on that.
All right.
Move that line. There it is.
Yeah.
A wise man once said, "Hold the line. Love isn't always on time."
Do you guys know who Jim Cramer is on MSNBC?
And you have a bunch of really bad takes?
Terrible.
Yeah, he does. He gets like roasted on Twitter all the time, but he's like he picks stocks on TV. He's a former like hedge fund manager or whatever. He's a character, but he has buttons for like everything he does. So he has like a bull when he picks a stock.
Yeah, okay, I've seen this guy.
Going, buy. Or there's one time where like right before the recession, in 2008, he had like a banker on talking with him, and he freaked out on live television. He goes, "You know nothing," to this guy, and now he trolls himself all the time and uses his button with his own line. And it's like, "You know nothing." But he has all these buttons. This is something we could do. Like, it probably is like hard to figure out, but that'd be funny if we had those. It'd be sick.
Yo, Cart, I'm not gonna listen to you, man. You know why?
You know nothing.
Jared, what's your bet for the week?
I got to make a little bit of a play, but I also got to be a little bit safe because I'm curious to see what Carter comes up with here, because Eric's going for the safe bet. Carter is big bet barter, but he's got a lead to play with now. So I'm curious to see. I think I'm going to kind of split the difference a little bit. I'm going to jump over to the set offers. I'm looking at set number 1, and I'm going to shift the line for set 1 to 10.5 games. I'm going to take the over on that. I think it's plus 220 is what it shows up. I feel like both of these guys, there's going to be a feeling out process. I think that neither of them is going to run away with that first set in particular, with Thiem working his way back in and kind of in the same vein as Eric, where Tommy Paul, I don't think, has all of the weapons to just completely like shut out Thiem in that first set. So I'm expecting a close first set. I'm going to take the over 10.5 games in the first set at plus 220. I'm going to put $20 on that.
Jared's making moves. Big bet barter. Last but not least, you're in first place. What's your bet?
All right. Well, first of all, Jared made some good points. I got a lead to play with. I should be playing it safe and being really strategic with my decisions here. That is not what I'm going to do. Thiem's a one-time major champion. That asterisk, because he played Zverev, who's an absolute pretender and will never win a major. What a bitch. I hate Zverev. God damn it. Anyway, he used to be an absolute Iron Man. Like, Thiem played every single tournament, was at it every single week. Absolute boss on the clay. He can grind out matches, even in his previous matches. Before injury, and as he's been struggling with injuries, played a lot of 3-setters, and he's won a lot of 3-setters. But, I don't really believe a lot in Tommy Paul. I don't really believe a lot in American tennis altogether, but especially not Tommy Paul. He's just a pretty boy. I'm going to take Thiem in 2 sets, $30, 2 sets exactly. I think both sets are going to be close, but he's going to squeak them out, and he's, for once, not going to have a 3-setter here. And I'll take my money, and then, if I win this one, I can just probably piss away the last 3 weeks and still be close. So I figure if I win this week, which I feel pretty confident about, I just got to win one more week and I'm good.
Carter, if you hit this week and you do have some flexibility, what I would encourage, and I've done this many times, don't show up. It's kind of a fun, rebellious feeling. And, if you want any tips on how to do that, I'm happy to offer them.
Oh my gosh. Could that be a strategy, actually? Like, yeah, Carter, would you consider that as a strategy? Would you not show up the last 3 weeks just to lose your $5 bet?
No, I will show up.
You would tarnish your reputation for sure. That might be a doping scandal.
Yeah, then what am I going to do season 2 and season 3 of TWI?
Ban you for life.
Yeah, we'd ban you.
Dude, okay. I'm thinking, I'm having like really random thoughts right now. What's TWI going to be in 60 years?